guys, this is Untouchable Mama. Thank you for watching our video. Thank you for being there for us. Please do not forget to share with your friends and press the notification button. Also follow us on Facebook, Untouchable Mama page. You can also see me on Untouchable Mama backup page. We are there for you. Thank you for being there. Thank you, one love. I appreciate each and everyone. Bye.
In the spirit of the season, we are in a political debacle, an era of political crisis in Nigeria. So all of us need to put our heads together to really let our voice be heard that this unconstitutional act being perpetrated by Mahmoud Yakubu and INEC in Nigeria should be highly criticized by all well-meaning Nigerians. We appreciate the value of democracy. We know what democracy really was. So let me quickly share. Just hold on, let me share to only one page. Let me quickly share. Yeah, now I've shared. I forgot something. I forgot something. Let me quickly take my water because so they talk like this throat is dry. Let me take my water from fridge. Yeah, I've gotten my chilled water. Let me put it near me. So, good evening once again. This is the home of equal right and justice. As you come, please endeavor to please share this video. Share this video. Share. Look, we talk something serious today. Something that bothers us as a people. What really bother us as a people? I think these are the issues we should be discussing, because our country, as the biggest democracy in Africa, we should be a kind of example for Africa to follow. If Nigeria not get it right, I think Africa will still have it seriously kind of in its stone age. So based on this reality we see on the ground, I come to put my voice on the line that the Supreme Court, the buck falls on your table to do the needful. Come the time this case will be brought to you to treat. You people should do the needful, because this is the last resort to test whether democracy will stand the test of time for Nigeria. So this is the time we should call on Supreme Court to right this wrong, because from the onset, INEC went against every electoral laws that guide that election. Every rules that guide that election was thrown to the winds, because they say now their turn. They favor one candidate to make sure see that candidate get that election by all means. Though they rig in a cunningly way, but the rigging was still noticed by the smart eyes of the Nigerian populace that came out en masse to vote for the Labour Party, because the people have been taken for a ride for so long. So they came out to express their sadness of the 8 years of torment APC take us past over the years. 8 years. The SARS riots, the boys came out, they were shot at toll gates. They came out to express their grievances that they are tired of this government. But this government, no one let go. This government led by Muhammadu Buhari don't want to let go. They want to place in their stooge there, which is Ahmed Bola Tinubu, to continue the mayhem, the massacre, where they implement for the past 8 years. The people of Nigeria refused. Hope I get volume. Okay, that's one. The people of Nigeria vehemently came out to choose their candidate, which is Peter Obi. But INEC, under Senator Yakubu Mahmood, want to think that it's going to be business as usual before. But no, the people came out massively. They say Labour Party have no structure. In the history of this country, no party don't come like this before to come upset the major two parties. It has never been done. This was a tsunami, a clear-cut victory for Labour Party, but they still try to cut Labour Party to size, make them keep quiet so they don't win. Labour Party won this election. Seriously. Totally. The seat of power, Abuja, FCT, Labour Party cleared it. Labour Party cleared Lagos. What else? If these people were not rigged, if Labour Party was not rigged, you could have seen that Labour Party go cut across all sectors of the Nigerian state, the Nigerian Federation. The people wanted a change. But Mahmoud, Inaugural uploads this through the beavers. He refused to upload. They came and they promised that they are going to deliver. That the usual process of counting manually is not going to be used, which is why the people's money, 300-something billion naira, was allocated for this election. 300-something billion naira allocated to make sure, say, this new electoral act, based on this beavers electronic transmitting of the result to the center, and it will be displayed on the board. That was why that so much money was allocated. But at the end of the day, this same INEC under Mahmoud turned everything around. Goes against all the electoral laws and acts. And even at that, Tinubu didn't win 25% of FCT, which is stated in the constitution that a candidate must win 2/3 of the federation, 2/3 of the federation, and at least 25% of the federal capital territory. This is constitution. It is there, written. It is written. It is self-explanatory. The layman can understand that term. It is not rocket science that is too big for Senator Mahmoud to understand, but he still went ahead to call this result when Nigerians sleep. What kind of conspiracy? Broad daylight conspiracy. Broad daylight conspiracy. This is what Senator Mahmoud did. And they thought it would be business as usual. And if they do, Nigerians will keep quiet. Though Nigerians didn't react, it was a graveyard. Immediately they announced that result, people were sad. Never in the history of that country called Nigeria have we seen, when they announced a presidential election, Nigerians so sad. Even at the worst of Buhari, people still happy. People still, even they say, "Sai Buhari," they wanted a change. People were still even happy during the time of Buhari. But this Tinubu, the country went so silent, like a graveyard. People shocked, say, huh? Upon say we still vote, but we change this government. INEC, under Mahmoud, broad daylight, want to steal the people's mandate. It is uncalled for. These precedents must be stopped. The international community is looking at us. Thank God they have reacted. Our principal, Obi, don't file the suit, and he can't add more, join them. He add more. Tinubu case of 1990-something in America was even brought to it. Thank God that case, like we rightly heard, the Baba don't sick. They don't carry and go on a medical tour again. He never starts. He has not started. He hasn't been sworn in. He don't declare and go. So now, so one start another 8 years, just like the way we take for Buhari do us. Another 8 years. We don't have good medical facilities in our country. Our leaders will be sick. They will be flown abroad. How many times have you heard that the British Prime Minister is flown to Africa for medical whatever, or anywhere outside Britain? They fix their country. They fix their country. Why can't we fix our own? Is it too big for us to do? This is why the people came out to vote their choice. Who is that choice? Peter Obi and Dati. At the end of the day, Mahmoud say he not will let the people's wish come to play, which is bad. So all that being said, the reason of this broadcast is to tell the people that the people of Nigeria should come out, make una they take una phone, they tell Supreme Court, the box first on your table. They should do the needful. They must salvage democracy, because swearing in Bola Ahmed Tinubu come May 29 is an illegality in the first place. Is this a absolute illegality? There's no two ways about it, because he didn't meet the criteria to be sworn in. He didn't get 25% of Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory, which the Constitution rightly says that any president to be sworn in must get 25% of the votes of the Federal Capital Territory. It is stated in the Constitution. So this thing not be, it is just self-explanatory. Why did Mahmoud not wait and seek legal advice before he just go on air, go give Bola Ahmed Tinubu certificate of return? He can return a certificate. He must return that certificate, because swearing in this man will amount to, you just bash the Constitution. You kill the Constitution. It amounts to a coup of you bash the Constitution. It will be a kind of a military kind of government, because if the military comes in, they suspend the Constitution. So when these people outrightly abuse the Constitution, they can't swear in Bola Tinubu coming to the 29. It's unconstitutional. It is not recognized by the Constitution of Nigeria. So based on that, this is the more reason we should call on the Supreme Court to really save and sabotage savage democracy in our country. If not, we are heading God knows where. God knows where. God knows where we are heading to. And so, my people, it's a Thursday evening. Let's listen to what our vice presidential candidate, Yusuf Dati Baba Ahmed, said about this whole issue when he was being interviewed by Shehu of Channels TV. Shehu na Koniga. Shehu not be like a Rufai. Rufai is a straightforward. I doff my heart for that guy called Rufai of Arise Television News. Shehu is so corny. Shehu know this to say these things are not right, but he will be trying to, thank God, our vice presidential candidate outsmart him in that interview. Let's just quickly listen to this interview and see how it goes. We see what our VP to be talk. Let's listen to it, because this whole thing is illegality.
We attended the signing ceremony in which the INEC chairman so bravely spoke, and in which Mr. President also spoke. We should have known better. We always know better. When you are dealing with authority, and you are a law-abiding citizen, the only option is to continue to have hope. So we've been having hopes for 8 years now. Promise after promise was failed. They promised beavers would work on Wednesday. They switched it off on Saturday. They promised electronic transmission on Wednesday. They failed it on Saturday. Mr. President said all he could, but all we have to do is to look at their antecedents and just come out and say the truth. These are people who just practically do not even know what they are promising. They promised better security for Nigeria. 8 years now have not been able to. Better economy, no. Fight corruption. Nigeria is the most corrupt era for Nigeria now. And therefore, if they fail to deliver the credible elections that they promised, it should come as little wonder to us. However, they're still calling it a credible election, which reinforces my belief that, clinically speaking, they don't even know what they're doing. They just say things in the air. Credibility, they have honor, they have zero honor, they say they have honor. They force people to say that they are leaving behind a legacy. What legacy are you leaving behind with all the posture that Nigeria is in? That is my view. But let's keep that aside and go to what is really facing Nigeria now, if you would. Can I go ahead?
Yeah. Just I'd like to just get one or two things off the table. You mentioned this. It looks to me that you generalize the issues, but Nigerians would like to know in what areas that you have your disappointment about the process. Is it with INEC? Is it with the beavers? Did the beavers work, or was it the IREF? Because
this Shehu is so corny. Shehu knows that these people, they be fraud. INEC was a fraud. Beavers, everything put together. That question is irrelevant, Shehu. Though, let's see how our man answer, because Shehu is so cornily, it's not straightforward like a Rufai.
A lot of people will say maybe the beavers worked, but the IREF, the transmission of results, was the problem. Where do you think that the promises did not match the performance?
The arrogant INEC chairman and the incompetent president of Nigeria.
Good.
I'm very, very sorry to say.
You heard that. The arrogant INEC chairman. And Buhari is incompetent. It's a plain fact. Buhari is incompetent because Buhari don't care. Just get this kind of lackadaisical attitude. Let anything goes. The constitution is being bastardized under his rulership. He doesn't care. He doesn't care about it. All he cares, it is their turn. Because they helped him before. He want to turn them back to them. Not caring whether the people's mandate is at stake. So let's continue from there.
The chairman should not have engaged in what he did. At the height of administrative rascality and official arrogance, sneak in the hour of 4 a.m., arrogate himself the power to interpret a section of the Constitution that needs no interpretation. Section 134 comes already interpreted and recklessly proceeds to declare and issue a certificate of return. And our dear Mr. President, who is probably paying back a promise that Tinubu extracted from him way back in 2014 when they added their money and their votes for him to become president of Nigeria way back then. And now they reminded him, you promised to give it back to us. And he has no choice than maybe, well, they promised, okay, give it to them. He could not stand for righteousness. And it is clear, with this president, anything can go, and you can give it a different name. These are the places I'm disappointed in, but I really, really want us to come to what is facing Nigeria now, if you may.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and, but of course,
there are two.
Your party, just for a moment, your party had gone to court petitioning the outcome of that election. What are your expectations? And I'm asking this because your party came third. So in that sense, what are the hopes and aspirations of your party and your principal yourself? What do you think will come out of that election? What are your prayers?
It's good we always finish qualifying what we're saying. When you say we came third according to the results released by INEC, yes. In reality, we came from.
Thank God our vice presidential candidate knew, saying that we confess. We came third according to the results released by INEC. If INEC have allowed this election to be free and fair, There's no reason Labour Party shouldn't have carried the day. That is a fact. That is a fact. If Labour Party has been treated fairly according to the rules of the game, we could have won that election clean and clear. So let's go. It's going to be a long audio, but we'll see how it goes. We'll quickly rush her because tomorrow I'm still working day. So let's quickly do it.
With the data, with the collated results on IREV and with our agents and everything that we have.
Have you collated that?
We have. Yes. Yes.
So what are the figures telling you?
We won the election.
INEC declared 6 million plus for you.
Yes, but
and,
we got the highest number of votes.
By how many votes?
It's in the region of 8 million, but when the lawyers are handling that, I don't want to give a figure right now. We came for, so just to correct you, whatever we say is good, we fully clear. Yes, we've gone to court, and the lawyers are handling it. What is facing Nigeria now? Nigeria is officially in a state of constitutional crisis.
Of course.
We're not realizing that yet.
What do you mean by that?
Thank you. A certificate of return has been issued to a so-called president-elect.
Illegally.
Unconstitutionally. There are therefore two meanings, two interpretations, and two understandings of the declaration made. One is that one by INEC. One is that one of the people. When I said of the people is whoever can read section 134 of the Constitution and take a position, then we are entitled to our own view of what crisis is facing Nigeria now. The certificate of return issued to Alhaji Tinubu is a dud certificate.
Check
it is one certificate that breaches the provisions of section 134. Therefore,
for the avoidance of that, for those maybe they do hear the audio quality, I think on about hear. He said the certificate of return issued to Bola Ahmed Tinubu is more or less like a dot check. You know what? You check when you go back, you go cash out, you go bounce. Now be that certificate when they give Bola Ahmed Tinubu. It's like the issue person check when no money in the account. When you go bank, you go cash out, money no go come out. They go tell you say you not get money for you. They will bounce the check. The check will bounce. Come May 29, the Supreme Court, I think you should do the needful before that day. So let's go on. Let's listen to this intelligent man. These are the kind of people we should be proud of to be our leaders. People like Obi, people like Dati. I don't know whether how the person could just see light, you go koro one go enter darkness because of religious sentiment. Now my own, now my tribe. We should push this tribalism aside and really go for the best candidate. In that way, we will get it right. Nigeria will get it right. If Nigeria can get it right, Africa will get it right. Many Nigerians in diaspora wants to come home. They want to see lights like they enjoy in Europe. But with this kind of a corrupt government in place, they will not give us light, no infrastructure, nothing, year in, year out. They keep on campaigning. They're going to build roads. They're going to build schools. They don't campaign with such things again in the modern world that we are in. They don't campaign with they're going to give you road. They're going to give you light. Those are basic things that are already there. These things are already there. But come 8 years time, if we not get it right, our politicians will still come, give people peanuts, and still be campaigning that they're going to give them lights. 8 years again. My people, look, we wake up. Let's wake up from our slumber. Let's wake up from our slumber.
Requirements to be declared as president-elect have not been met by Tinubu Shetima ticket. The declaration, therefore, as it stands now, as far as the people of Nigeria who choose to adopt the literal, clear interpreted meaning of Section 134 is concerned, there is really no president-elect.
All right. So let's clarify.
Yes.
So Section 134 suggests and puts to Nigeria.
Does not suggest.
You heard what he said there. According to the Constitution, Section 134 stipulates that if so criteria is not met, that person is not qualified to be called a president. As it is now, to all intelligent people worldwide, you should know we don't have a president-elect in Nigeria. Basically, anything contrary to that is a bastardization of the Constitution, a destructive act against the democratic institutions that we're trying to implement in that country called Nigeria. Anything comes short of that. The Constitution have outrightly given a sound notice that this criteria must be met. In the absence of not meeting this criteria, nobody is qualified to be called a president. So let's go.
He provides what Nigerians should think about when they are electing a leader and the office of the president. And he talks about.
No, Sean, you're wrong. You're wrong. It's not what they should say when they are electing a leader. Section 134 stipulates who to be declared and issued certificate of return. It is only that candidate that has scored the highest number of votes and at least 25% in each in at least two-thirds of the states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory.
Right.
Remember,
I thought you were going to say something different from what I was going to.
No. Each. And now it is very clear Tinubu does not have 25% in the FCT. We denied him. We got 61%. Atiku does not have 25% in the FCT. We denied both of them. By the clear, unambiguous provision of the Nigerian Constitution, which must not be breached, Tinubu has not satisfied the requirement to be declared president-elect. Accordingly, there is no president-elect for Nigeria now. I repeat, accordingly, there is no president-elect for Nigeria at the moment because the declared one violates the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And I know what I'm saying. The Constitution is there in your presence, it's available, everybody is reading it as I speak.
As you can hear, my people, these things are just plain. It's just so obvious. It's not too hard for anybody to understand. The Constitution stipulates that anybody that must be declared as president must win Abuja at least 25% of the votes, the Federal Capital Territory, which PDP couldn't get, APC couldn't get. Labour Party won Federal Capital Territory with a massive 60-something percent, if I'm not mistaken. 60-something percent was what Labour Party used to win the Federal Capital Territory. So let's hear our vibrant guys speak. These are the kind of leaders we want.
I'm not therefore behaving illegally or unconstitutionally. To the contrary, I am supporting constitutionality. It is in fact better for the powers that be to go and create additional 6% out of thin air and rig it back to Tinubu and therefore swear him in on 25% than to go ahead and take the risk.
This is a funny statement from our VP. He said, for them to swear in Tinubu come May 29, they should just better smoke and think how they can fabricate some figures and still put that for the beavers to let Tinubu get 25% of Federal Capital Territory. In that case, he can be sworn in, which is absolutely impossible for INEC under Mahmoud to do again. He cannot do it. So this is just plain story. So easy to understand. I don't know why this thing had Mahmoud to understand. So easy.
Swearing in a so-called president-elect that has not met the constitutional requirements.
Interesting. This conversation that, I mean, what you started saying, just a moment, was one conversation I had with Mr. Olisa Bakuba a few months ago when he was one of those who raised it and said, INEC need to come out to explain to Nigerians this second part of the provision of the Section 134 of the Constitution about the 25% in two-thirds of 36 states is 24. Good. Plus the FCT. Whether or not, if you meet that of the 25% of two-thirds of the state, which is 24, but if you fail to meet the FCT, what happens? That it was one major issue, which is raised. For the benefit of...
This is my problem with Shehu. Shehu is being kind of trickish. Shehu knows this thing, that this whole thing is so simple. It's not rocket science. It's not be rocket science. The Constitution stipulates that if you not win 25% for Abuja, you not feel be president. You cannot be sworn in as a president. But Shehu, in his usual antics, that corny guy will be. You go to fear. It is a go fear as smart as Daddy. Daddy don't beat a husband for you.
Viewers, let me just read quickly what Section 134 says. And it says, a candidate for an election to the office of the president shall be deemed to have been duly elected, where there being only two candidates for the election, he has a majority of votes cast at the election. That is the first provision. Then he has not less than 1/4 of the votes cast at the election in each of the least 2/3 of all the states in the federation and the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. That is a second provision.
Can I comment?
Okay.
Go ahead, please.
This document you read is not a puzzle.
So easy.
It is in English.
So easy to understand. Shehu even read that. And the Federal Capital Territory. Let's hear that finisher.
You wrote and I wrote and the justices and everybody that is a candidate wrote. It is law. The law is not a game for politicians to play. This document is not available for Yakubu to interpret that day. It is there for him to follow. The English is very clear. These are fundamental provisions of the Constitution. They come already interpreted. You cannot take a gun, shoot somebody, and then ask the family to go and get interpretation that you only fired your weapon and then it killed him. No. This Constitution is more than abundantly clear. It says and. Shehu, you know the meaning of and. We know the meaning of and.
Of course.
There is no justice beyond what is simplicity. Simplicity is justice, simplicity is wisdom, simplicity is knowledge.
All right. So that is an interpretation which you are giving.
Listen.
No, because there are other people who have
universal. There is a universal.
There are other people who have argued different.
Go ahead.
And when Bola Tinubu was declared, he has a supporters. A lot of people were happy that he won the election. 38% of the votes cast were given to him. And those people are Nigerians.
By INEC. I told you to be qualifying what you
officially, except otherwise.
Now you are
Shehu know that this election was rigged. He's trying to kind of systematically support APC, in which our vice presidential candidate has said a lie. Those results given to APC was given to INEC by INEC, not Nigerians. Mahmoud INEC allocates figures to APC and they selected him, not elected. He was selected, not elected.
If
it's otherwise disputed, that is what is fact that we know now.
You have qualified it.
So that is your interpretation of this provision, because some other people argue differently.
Those who have argued differently ended up helping our case. Because they say that there's a certain ruling which says the FCT is a state. Good. FCT is a state. Where is the each?
How can someone argue differently where the Constitution just talk am so plainly? He not put one kind of big vocabulary to explain this thing. Then some people go still want argue. It is only in Nigeria such thing happens. It is only in Nigeria, so people will see the reality. They want to twist it. Only in Nigeria, but we will see. This will be the litmus test of the Nigerian judicial system. If they cannot validate the authenticity of our constitution, it then means they are collaborators with this APC government to bastardize democracy in Nigeria, and after then, anything they see, may they take. So let's go on.
Of 25% for FCT. It is not there. That constitutional requirement has not been met. That certificate of return is null and void and cannot be sworn in as president. And let me tell you, the way they are going, disregarding the calls of the people, violating the constitution, let them even go ahead, even if they swear in Tinubu Shetima on 29th of May. They are swearing in an unconstitutional government. Nothing will change it.
Of course.
I am not a careless, reckless speaker. I am working with the constitution there, that document right you just read. I'm following it. And I dare to tell you that swearing in Tinubu and Shetima is as good as swearing in the Nigerian army.
Of course.
On 29th of May.
If
you swear in people that have not satisfied the requirement, you have by so doing ended democracy.
That's it.
The crisis I'm telling you now is that this our democracy is going to end by the way we are going. This democracy is going to end on the 29th of May 2023. Please write it.
Those are extreme,
you know my name.
Extreme thoughts.
I am very, very happy to say it.
No,
you know my name.
You know,
you introduced me.
Yeah.
Listen, don't stop it.
No.
This Shehu, look at what Shehu is trying to do. He's trying to coerce that these are extreme talk. When people make peace inevitable, what are they looking for? They are looking for chaos. That is it. So because if you say our vote not counts, you you steal the vote, you go swear in Tinubu come May 29. That is not telling him that they are going to kill democracy in Nigeria. It's more or less like swearing in a military government. Shehu is not saying this is extreme talk because he has ethics to protect. He has professional values to protect. He's not always straightforward like Rufai. Shehu, be careful. You be Konima. Rufai beat you off Arise Television. Well.
Because those are extreme thoughts. You know why? Because there are allowable language to be used on television, especially as it relates to our nation and the unity of this country.
Put your question and let me answer you. Put your question. I know what I'm saying.
If there is an official...
If you breach the constitution...
But is it not left to the court to decide otherwise?
This is already decided by the courts.
But the authority in charge of the election gave a declaration.
Sure, if you are afraid for some things, don't ask for them.
I am not afraid.
Course.
I will, as a citizen of the country, by the ethics and the guidelines of my profession, live by it.
Yes.
What is lawful? And I hope that you're a lawful citizen of the country.
Very, very
and so whatever the stipulation of the law guides, if you are aggrieved about something, you go to the court to seek redress, isn't it?
This document is a product of the legal system. It has been signed into law by the President, Commander-in-Chief Federal Republic of Nigeria. I believe in this document. That is why I'm so lawful. That is why I'm so confident. And that is why however extreme it is, Seun, I am saying it on national TV. I don't like to take risks. I'm not taking any risks. Swearing in a ticket that has not met the constitutional requirements of the constitution, okay, is ending democracy. Quote me on it.
That's your interpretation.
That is my interpretation, and that is in.
That is a fact. That he has said it clean and clear. Swearing in a party that breached the constitution of Nigeria is an illegality in all totality, in all ramification. There's no way you can sugarcoat it, smooth talk it. It is a breach of the constitution. It's as good as a military government coming to power, snatching the democracy, or rather suspending the constitution. A swearing in of Bola Ahmed Tinubu come May 29 is a breach of the Nigerian constitution, because there's no need for anyone to say one is speaking out of extremism, one is giving some inciting statement to bring the unity of Nigeria into jeopardy. Swearing in Tinubu come May 29 is already jeopardizing, or rather, it's a big threat to the unity of the country, because it has gone contrary to the constitution of that country. Mahmoud go against electoral laws. Tinubu being sworn in on May 29 is equally an illegality, unconstitutional act. So, based on this, like I rightly said, the Supreme Court should come, take the bull by the horn, and salvage our country for us all, because we don't need chaos, we don't need turbulence, we don't need war, we need peace. Let's continue with our vice presidential candidate.
A correct interpretation. You cannot swear people who have not met the constitutional requirement. You can't do that. If you did it, you have done something unlawful, something unconstitutional. And I'm repeating it. Whoever does not meet the constitutional requirement must never be sworn in. You said my name. If you like, I can say it again. I'm Dr. Baba Ahmed. I'm not taking risks with my safety and with my life. But I'm repeating. Swear in anybody who does not meet the constitutional requirements of our country. You are engaging in an unconstitutional act. Mr. President, do not hold that inauguration. CJ and your lordship, do not partake in unconstitutionality.
At all.
I am taking these risks for the sake of my country.
Of course, it's a risk worth taking.
I'm saying it. It was more extreme for Yakubu to issue that certificate. It was reckless. He is putting all our lives in danger. All of us. We're already at risk. So what is there again in me taking risks again? What have they not done against Nigeria?
That is it.
What have they not abused in Nigeria? Now they'll take the constitution where it is clear, it says, and get 24. After that, and FCT. They fail to get it. They are going to swear this man in, and I should be afraid?
Imagine.
I will not be. I'm telling you that on the 29th of May 2023, swear in Tinubu as this result is, you have ended democracy.
Of course.
You say you're a lawful citizen.
I am.
So the judiciary,
the law in me is why I'm saying this.
Yeah, so the judiciary is the hope of the masses, is the hope of the common man. And if you look at what decision your party, your principal and yourself have taken in going to the presidential election petition, it does look that you believe in one thing, that the judiciary will work. Do you?
I do. What you asked me is a different form of what others have asked me, as in if I trust them. But listen, take these three things I'm going to tell you. The law is not a game for politicians to play. The Constitution is not a puzzle for candidates to toy around with.
At all.
Justices, their lordships, are not in place for politicians to refer other politicians to. That is wrong. That is wrong. This is classically what is going on now.
But do you have faith in the courts?
I do not.
Why so?
There is a sitting Senate president who contested presidency and lost, and today he is declared senator. And the law...
My people, I laugh. The injustice in our country is so great. Our presidential candidate, the vice presidential candidate, says he doesn't have faith in the legal system. It is based on this reason that I come and constantly put my voice on the line, that the Supreme Court should, for the interest of us all, because most of us don't get trust in the Nigerian judicial system. So there must be a first time to everything. In all situations, there's always a first time. Based on this, because this injustice is so glaring, the Supreme Court need to do the needful, because if not, the Committee of Nations will not look us as people of dignity. We will not be looked as responsible people. They are already complaining. The Americans are complaining. The British are complaining. They are discussing the issues everywhere. Al Jazeera, name it. They are discussing what transpired in Nigeria February 25 and March 18. The outright humiliation of Nigerian people, disenfranchising some certain part of certain Nigerians from some part of the country not to vote because they say this is not their lawful land. They are not indigenous of those of that place, if I may use that word. But these people pay tax in that place. They were disenfranchised. The world is watching. The videos are all over the world. Some of these videos have gone viral. Based on this reason, the Supreme Court must do the needful. So let's quickly hear our smart and eloquent vice presidential candidate so that as he continues with his arguments.
Of Nigeria does not allow you to contest two offices. I was contesting governorship in Kaduna, but I withdrew before the contest. And that is why I was nominated as vice presidential candidate on this ticket. Electoral Act violated. Every other act violated. Promises violated. Now they are inching to violate the Constitution.
Of course.
To the extent that they will even swear in a president who has not met the constitutional requirement. We should sit down and be afraid and not talk about it. No way.
So if you say you do not believe in the courts, so why did you proceed to the courts then?
That is no reason for us not to go. Because I have said it many times, history is full of first times. There may be a first time that the court system will work. Remember, I have suffered from the legal system. My House of Reps, my Senate, and everything I accepted. Nothing I can do. And that's to underscore the law in me. I'm a law-abiding citizen. I'm a law-promoting citizen. That is the more reason I keep telling you, I keep speaking in extreme ways. And I'm not violating your ethics. I'm more ethical than many people who have been here before. To come and tell lies.
I love this guy.
Because I'm speaking the truth. The Constitution says each of, that is 24. After that, and you come and tell me that, go and get interpretation.
Not at all.
This is an interpreted document. Constitution of...
So, my people, it's a very long video. This interview is very long. So, if someone will continue, but seriously, we've taken the needed arguments we need from this interview. It is highly needed for the Supreme Court to salvage our democracy. Anything short of that, there's going to be chaos in that country. I foresee it. You cannot rob the people, blatantly shoot the constitution that is supposed to guide democracy because we want a candidate to be there. On this note, I wish you all a very wonderful evening. Thanks for your time. As you come, please share this video. Those who will see you later, as soon as I'm going to help us share this good news. All of us of democratic values worldwide, obedient worldwide, please help me to share this video and let it go as much as you can. I wish you a very wonderful night and a very good, let me say, a happy Friday working day, because we'll be working tomorrow, because myself I will be working tomorrow. So I wish our people that will still be working tomorrow, it's not weekend yet, a working day, Friday morning, peaceful day. Then in the evening we'll not come and say happy weekend, we'll fulfill the job for the week. In Europe we always work, it's what we do to survive. We must pay bills, there are bills to be paid, there are many things to be met. So based on that, you don't waste your time, you don't form, you cannot be indoors as a lazy dog ass most of the time. That is how it works in Europe. You must work to pay your bills. So my people, once again, the home of equality and justice and Omofuma, like our page, follow us and share our videos. Have a wonderful night. Bye bye.